My name is Darren. I'm a dad. I'm an airline pilot. I'm a husband of a scientist. This live is just starting. I do answer every question in a live. Right now, there's no one here, and no one might come, which would mean this video will be me talking to a camera. But if you have no idea how I am before people come, I make videos about aviation because I love aviation so much. I am an airline pilot for a major airline. I currently fly a Boeing 777. I have previously flown Airbus 320 series, Embraer 190, Embraer 175, MD-80, Embraer 145, and the CRJ 700. So I've flown a few aircraft in my time. I have about 11,000 hours of flight time, dad of two girls, and I only drive electric cars as though you cared. So for right now, I'm going to talk to myself, and maybe someone will come in my live. Maybe they won't. We'll just have to see. But if no one comes, it's okay. It's Saturday at 3 in the afternoon. I've been awake for a long time. It is currently 10 p.m. in Amsterdam, and I woke up in Amsterdam at 6 a.m. today. So it's been a long day. But at home, good afternoon, Landon. Going very well. I flew in from Amsterdam today and actually got a real trip. Um, so normally I get relief pilot trips, but I got a actual flying pilot trip 2 days ago on Thursday. So I get to fly to Amsterdam and back. Kind of nice flying, actual flying again. I did go back to Amsterdam. It's kind of funny. For a long time, if you've been following my videos, I was the king of London, meaning I went to London a lot. Uh, I only went to London one time this month, so pretty good. And I got Amsterdam 2 weeks in a row. And this one was kind of a surprise. I wasn't expecting this. In fact, the lead flight attendant, her paperwork did not say my name. It was at that last minute of a trip. But yeah, I got to fly there and fly back. The captain actually flew there. He offered me the leg there. I'm like, yeah, you can fly there. I prefer flying and landing when I'm fully awake and like landing at 1 in the morning. But of course, I landed here in Dallas after being up for a long time too. So there's that. Good afternoon, Sophia. So yeah, I finished another Amsterdam trip today. I am on reserve the next 2 days, and I probably will not be used due to the aircraft I'm on and my base. We don't have day trips, and we don't have 2 day trips. So I'm on 11 a.m. short call tomorrow morning, and what that means is 11 o'clock in the morning they have to be available for an assignment. We just changed our entire reserve system today. Previously, I always said they had to call me for a trip. No more. Now it's all electronic on my iPad or my phone. So no more just waiting for a phone call to get a trip. It's actually on a notification. But anyway, tomorrow at 11, they give me a trip. It probably won't happen. So instead, I'll just get to hang around the house in Arlington for a little while. Da, da. Gone and remove. I do love the trolls on the internet. They're so awesome. Anything fun this time around in Amsterdam? I walked around quite a bit. I was going to go to This Is Holland, like a tourist thing, and I got there at 3:20, and the next show wasn't until 4 o'clock. I'm like, I don't want to wait till 4 o'clock to do this. So I did a lot of walking around just the touristy areas, seeing sights. Had my French fries again yesterday. They were overcooked, a little bit annoyed. And then I did learn my MacBook Air can play games. That's about it. Why did I delete that? Because he told me to shut up, and I don't do political talk. What's one trip that you don't get in your base that you wish I could? Australia and more Asia stuff. We don't have that. We have Australia out of LA, not out of Dallas, and we have no Asia right now on the 777 except for Haneda out of JFK, and that's only temporary until the 787 takes over. Thank you. From Fiji, never been there. You're in the hospital. Hey, why are you in hospital, buddy? Giovanni, I recognize your name. Just soloed on Sunday when you were a CFI. Did you teach on the 172? I did not. I did teach a very little bit. Most of my time on a CFI was on the Piper Seminole. On the Piper Seminole. Just gotta keep meeting people. Next time you fly to Amsterdam, you should go to one of the other cities by train. I thought about that because so my flight attendant, one of my flight attendants, one of the speakers, we have always have a speaker on board. He is from the Netherlands, and he's from Belgium, and he actually drove to Belgium to see his family. And I'm thinking that's a long drive, but not really. It's like an hour and a half drive. I wouldn't really drive. I wouldn't rent a car though, but maybe by train. I had to really plan it out though because when we arrive at 8 a.m. exhausted, right? So we all take a nap till 2:30. Well, till we get to the hotel around 9:30, 9:30, and we sleep for at least 3 hours. So that's 12:30 minimum, right? Probably 1 o'clock, 1 o'clock in the afternoon. And so I only have from like 1 o'clock until like 8 o'clock to do something, right? It's not a whole lot of time. Da, da, da. What are your thoughts on the cadet program? Most of the cadet academies are great. Again, airlines don't care where you learn to fly. No matter where you learn to fly, you get the same piece of plastic from the FAA. Nowhere on any of my certificates does it say where I learned to fly, what I learned to fly in. Airlines care about your certificates, not where you learn to fly. That said, if you know you want to work for American Airlines, for Delta Airlines, for United Airlines, going to one of their cadet academies, there's nothing wrong with it. You'll pay more money than you will pay if you were to go to a mom and pop school. But you can take solace that that airline has kind of blessed that flight school, putting their name on it, right? So you know you won't be taken advantage of. You know they have good equipment and good standards. So that there's that, right? But nothing wrong with that. I was in Amsterdam. You're in the Netherlands. Hello from Morocco. I want to go there. Do you guys do Auckland from DFW? They do not. It's on the 787. Hey, from the Netherlands. I was just there. Great weather, by the way. Repo to Charlotte tomorrow. The flying rat. You're a whole person. Just kidding. The new car is great. I think I'm gonna make a video about my new car. People have asked about it on my YouTube, so I think I'll make a like a fake Doug DeMuro video about my new car. I got a Chevrolet Equinox EV. On a lost day in an outstation, checking in, just wanted to say hi. I miss those lost days and outstations. I've done those before. I've done 30 hours in Grand Island, Nebraska. There's no island there. Do you want to visit any of the UK cities, or has the constant London put you off? No, I visit. So I do want to go elsewhere, right? We don't have that many places to go to on the 777 at Dallas. I've been to Norway on my own. I've been to Denmark on my own as well. Hey, from UAE. Do you wear over the ear headphones or in ear headsets on long flights? I wear the Bose ProFlight 2s. It's in ear. Again, um, it's a very quiet aircraft. On when I flew regional jets, I wore full cup. Well, on the CRJ, was pretty quiet, but I did wear full cups. On the Embraer, you need full cups. On 175, was pretty quiet. I still wear full cups though. Some people want to look cool and not wear a headset when you're flying a jet. The regional jets, you can get by with it sometimes, but once your hearing goes away, it never comes back. So protect your hearing when you're young. How about the PMD 777 on Flight Sim? I have tried it, Patrick. It's a great aircraft, but Microsoft Flight Sim is trash, and I'm not gonna defend it. It's trash. The whole Microsoft Flight Sim platform, it's pretty, it's eye candy, but the physics aren't very good, in my opinion. And I hate the menu system on it. I like X-Plane better. Hello, Dame Dignai. VatSim, I don't use it. I get enough real flight. I get enough real ATC at work. Hey, Brian. Is it worth doing AGI, IGI for Gold Seal? I think it is. You know why? Here's why. Right. So I got the Gold Seal, right? Having a Gold Seal is another line on your resume. It's another reason to say, hey, this guy or gal is a little bit better than the person next to you. It's just one written test, right? One written test and being an awesome CFI. So I think it's absolutely worth it. And I still get my CFI renewed. Gloria from RDU. I live close to the airport. Nice. Haven't been there in a while. Hey, Darren. Hey, it's me. I am doing very well, Kevin. Good afternoon. Average age 777 I fly, I think about 21 years, 20 years, which is not that old. Because so I can see how many cycles and hours each plane has. And because 777s typically fly long flights, they might have 7,000 cycles, meaning takeoff and landings, but they might have, 40, is that 7,000, 9 hours? But like 63,000 hours. They might have a lot of hours, but not very many cycles. Versus RJs, it might be closer to 1 to 1. Like Embraer 145 might have 55,000 cycles and 49,000 hours because they do a lot more up and downs than we do. Hey guys, bruh, you went to the wrong fries place. Amsterdam born and raised. That's the one that's not too bad. If you want God like fries, take the train to Harlem. I've been to Harlem, Michael, and I trust your judgment. When we drove to, we flew into Belgium years ago, Brussels, and we went from Brussels over to Bruges, up to Harlem because we couldn't get a hotel in Amsterdam for very cheap. We stayed in Harlem. I don't know where we stayed. We stayed in a very nice hotel because it had like a giant room. Okay. Anyway, but I didn't have fries there. But Harlem is not too far away. I might take your advice next time and try that. I'm gonna actually add that to my Google Maps. 'Cause if I don't do it now, I'm never gonna do it. One second. Frietek. Ah, it came up. And Zizarstraat. Save. Want to go. Done. You're very welcome, Landon. Hey, Daily. Can you give non-pilots a sense of the difference in feel when hand flying small versus large aircraft? So 777 is a big aircraft, right? And one thing I was taught very early on, and so like on the MD-80, I would do a lot more movements of the yoke on landing because it took a lot more movements to get a reaction out of the plane because it was actual cables going somewhere, right? It was cables going to a tab, but actual cables going somewhere. On 777, I'm sending commands to a computer that sends stuff to the flight controls. So it's a lot smaller movements. And lucky for me, similar to the Airbus, where you are introducing smaller movements to the plane. You don't see Airbus pilots doing a lot of movements like this. Um, I'm told a lot of Boeing 737 pilots that come to the 777, they're still in that habit of yanking and banking, and that is not the thing to do on a 777. The larger the plane, the larger the control surfaces. I have a giant rudder, giant ailerons, and giant multifunction spoilers. So to get a turn or a movement, it needs just a little bit. Coming into land today, we had a quartering tailwind, so a little bit cockeyed to the left, and it's just very small rudder movements and a little bit of aileron to get onto the runway. It is nowhere near as pronounced as it is on smaller aircraft. Like on a Cessna, you would have a lot more movements because you get smaller flight control surfaces. For your VATSIM, I meant more for learning, talking to ATC. I've never used VATSIM. Sorry. Parked at RDU. I love me some MD-11. Awesome. Aloha from Hawaii. I do want to go Honolulu again. I don't know why people are horrible on the internet, but they are. What are some pros and cons of Airbus versus Boeing in my experience flying them both? I think the Airbus is more logical, more current. Even though the Airbus 320 series was designed in the 80s, it is much more of a logical airplane to fly than the Boeing 737. The Boeing 777 is a very good Boeing Airbus. It's very automated. Starting an engine in a Boeing 777, it's just I reach up, and if I'm on 200, I turn both to start, and I flip both fuel control switches, and it's all automated. Very similar to the Airbus, where I turn the knob to start, and I put one fuel control switch up, and it's all automated. But I do think the Airbus makes more sense, is a lot more logical, in the way we do things and fly things than the Boeings are. Um, the Boeing makes, I mean, people are gonna say, well, because Boeing's a real airplane. No, it's the Airbus is a lot more user friendly. I have to hunt for things in the box on a Boeing. On an Airbus, I go in and it's right where I think it is. This is a lot more logical, in my opinion. You're very welcome, Daily. What kind of approaches do you guys do on a clear visual day? It's a visual backup by the ILS. I landed on 18 right today in Dallas. Clear in a million. We always load up an approach. So I load up the ILS as a backup. Any pilot references or differences for 777 versus 787 when you're out from finishing active duty, hoping to get with a legacy? I have never flown a 787, and at my airline, we only typed on one. When you switch back to domestic flying, will it be on the Airbus? Yes, it will be, but I could do domestic flying on the 777, but in all likelihood, I'll probably be back on the Airbus within a year and a half as a captain, and then it'll be international still because we only have one. We only have one status in Dallas now. It is international Airbus. We used to have domestic and international. Now it's only international. You're welcome. Very welcome, James. Thank you, Airbrax. How hard was the 777 type training? It wasn't hard only because this was my 6th type rating. right? My very first type rating was a CL65 on the GOJ 700. That was very hard for me. Everything was new to me. The whole idea of profiles and limitations, um, memory items, flows, profiles, flows. That was all new to me. How jet engines work. That was all new to me. The overhead panel was all new to me on my first type rating. Now, on my sixth type rating, overhead panels, even between Embraer, Canadair, Boeing, Airbus, and McDonnell Douglas, they're all pretty similarly laid out. The top left is normally electrics. The top right is normally pneumatics. Fuel and everything else is in the middle. So going to a 777, totally different than the Airbus, totally different mindset. But I'm just having to say, okay, this is how I'm going to do things on this plane. And I never, ever, ever, the worst thing you do as an airline pilot, and people do this a lot when they first start off, is say, but on my old plane, this is how I did it. It doesn't matter. This is my world now. I do things this way. Like for getting ready for landing on the Airbus, I used to have to put in into the box the barometric pressure, the temperature, the wind, all for the plane to figure out my approach speed. On the Boeing, all I do is tell it what kind of flaps I want. That's it. Everything else is on me. Very different. But it wasn't hard. It was just different. And again, I'm exceptionally average. How do you choose who flies a trip? Say it's the captain's discretion. Good question. So so on the narrow bodies, because we would do 3 legs a day sometimes, right? A 3 day trip average at my airline in my base is 3 legs day one, 2 legs day two, 3 legs day three, 8 legs total. Typically, what would happen is the captain would fly the first leg. So let's say it's Dallas to Houston, kind of set the tone. And then the FO would fly Houston back to Dallas, then Dallas to Las Vegas. Then the captain would fly Vegas to LA, and then like LA to uh, Austin. We would swap at the outstation every 2 legs. On the wide bodies, it's just 1 leg out, right? And normally, if the captain has flown with you before or is really relaxed, they'll say, "You want to fly or talk?" My very first leg on the 777 was to London, first leg ever. And the IOE captain's like, "Hey, Darren, you want me to fly it? Or you want to fly it?" I'm like, "Trial by fire. I'll fly the first time I ever flying this plane to London, right?" This trip, I just went to Amsterdam. The captain was extremely laid back, extremely senior. Like he gets what he wants. He's a very senior captain. Like, "Hey, Darren, you want to fly? Fly back. Your choice." I'm like, "I'll fly back." But normally it's captain discretion. Typically, on the narrow bodies, the captain flies the outbound leg. Even on wide bodies, some FOs get tired of landing just in Dallas. But it's been my experience so far on the 777. Most captains are like, pick a leg. They don't really care anymore. Now, sometimes we don't have a choice, right? I'm told in London in wintertime, lots of low visibility, it's to be an auto land, so I might as well have the captain fly there anyway. Auto lands in my airline are always captain. If your airline picks up a 321 XLR, do you think you jump on the opportunity to fly it eventually? No, because I don't want to fly a Airbus overseas. The 321 on a good day when it's fat and heavy can go to flight level 310, maybe 330. I want to be higher over the ocean above the weather, and because they plan all these tracks overseas, right? And these tracks are just defined highways in the sky. An Airbus can do at most Mach 8.2. My typical cruise speed in a 777 is Mach 8.3. The Airbus typically does Mach 7.8, meaning they're going to have to be moved to a lower altitude because everyone else above them is screaming down the way. So I forecast the XLR flying low in the weather, nice and slow, and that's not for me. Favorite Airbus aircraft to fly is a 319 short bus. Is Harry Reid Airport considered difficult to land at? No. Good question, Jennifer. It's not. It's typically pretty bumpy going in there and windy because of all the terrain around it, but it's not very difficult to fly into. We do have special procedures for flying into Vegas because of the terrain around there that we have to make sure that in case we take off or go around and lose an engine, we have to fly a very specific route to make sure we can maintain safety. We can't outclimb the mountains. Just want to say thanks again for your videos. Thank you very much, Pilot Sensei. Did you ever consider being a career CFI? No. No, and again, I love teaching. I went to college to be a teacher. I love teaching, but I back when I was a CFI, I made $1,000 a month. I couldn't feed a family of that, right? Here's a funny joke. It's not so pertinent anymore, but back when I first started flying regional jets, I made $24 an hour, which is equivalent to $12 an hour at a normal job. And the joke was, what is the difference between a regional jet pilot and a large pepperoni pizza? The pizza can feed a family of four. Yes, I totally see why you want that. Yes. What's the most unique place I've flown to? Uh, Tegucigalpa, Honduras, the old airport. What's the wait? Have you tried the Phoenix 321 on 319? I have not. And the problem with I have with all of those are they all fly on Microsoft Flight Sim, and Microsoft Flight Sim is not accurate. The physics aren't there. I have the tallest Airbus 319, 320, and 321 on X plane. The physics are accurate, meaning oh la, 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 la. Where'd my side stick go? I don't see my side stick. Anyway, when I had my Airbus side stick, if I would just tap it forward, like tap tap, the plane on X plane reacts exactly how the Airbus reacts. On Microsoft Flight Sim, I tap tap and it does these weird motions. And it's not the sensitivity I have setting. It is the underlying physics of Microsoft Flight Sim. They're horrible, absolutely horrible. They're pretty. The Phoenix Airbuses, they're very very pretty airplanes, but the hand flying physics are not accurate at all, not even close. While X plane they are. You're very welcome, Jennifer. I have been to Jamaica, only Kingston and was it Freeport? No, the other airport. But I've been to the airports only. I've never done overnights there. Would it be worth it to be a training pilot for a 320? What would that be something you'd consider? Oh, yeah, I think I would. I have 17 years in this career left. Um, I'm swaying toward going back to the Airbus. If I go back to Airbus captain, I'll probably put my hat in to be a training captain. By the way, were you the pilot this morning on flight A2? I was that flight. Yes. Hey, that was me, Michael. And I believe you said you're in Amsterdam. So yeah, 'cause obviously you are, right? That was me on 221 and the FO seat. We did a crazy long taxi. The taxi from gate, where are we at? Golf 3, we're in the G gates anyway, which that was on the northwest side of the airport. But to go to 3-6 left, that's a crazy long taxi. 'Cause we went right toward the highway. Yeah, yeah, it was a crazy long taxi at 3-6 left. Like, it was a long lap. That's the longest taxi I've ever had in my career. I'm not kidding. Does Kirkland fly to Nice, France? I think they do from another hub. I think from Philadelphia, but don't quote me on that. Good afternoon, Rayan. Sweet. So I've been awake for a long time. I'm still on my adrenaline energy, right? Um, Coke Zero opened up. I woke up this morning in Amsterdam at 6:30 ish in the morning. I'm about 6 in the morning ish. It is now 10:23 in Amsterdam. So it's been a long day for me, right? It's only 3:30 in Dallas, 3:23 in Dallas, but I know I'm going to crash at some point. But I'm still on my adrenaline high. I have flown on 321 Neo a few times. How do you remember the taxi points given by ATC for big airports? Good question. I either write them down or I type them in my FMS. So if they say Alpha Alpha 9 hold short 36 left, I type A9 HS 36L. So as they tell me them, I type them in the FMS in my shorthand. Many airports, you can kind of guess what they're going to say. Now, sometimes they'll say it so fast. And oh, by the way, the Amsterdam controllers, with great English, they talk freaking fast. They talk so fast. This, it's down the hallway. I get clarification. It's my car still. I get clarification on my clearance this morning because he was talking so fast. I asked him twice, and I think I got it. And then I called back again a third time and say, just to make sure. And I phonetically spelled out the fix because I wasn't sure what he was saying to me. With ATC, you never assume. If you're not sure what they said, you ask clarification. Love the videos. Thanks for putting the knowledge out. Thank you, Mr. Williams. Hello from Germany. I do want to go back to Germany. And Stefan, you might find this funny. I've told this a few times in my comments. Years ago, we flew to Frankfurt for a week. I rented a nice BMW station wagon. Driving my family around. I'm an American, and I'm at a red light, and I'm like, "Can I turn right on red in Germany?" I think I can. So I turn right on red, and a guy on a bike, I almost killed him because you cannot turn right on red in Germany, as you know. That's an American thing. I went to the hotel and I Googled it, and it said, no, no, you cannot turn right on red. That is not a thing in Germany. That's a United States thing. Also, I was on the Autobahn in this nice BMW 5 Series with my mother in law in the back seat, and I'm driving, and they have the, again, I'm an American, by the way. You know I'm an American. They have the white circle with the hashes through it, meaning I guess there's no speed limit. And I'm in the middle lane, and I'm doing like 140 kilometers, right? And I'm being passed with people going much faster. And my mother-in-law's in the back seat saying, Darren, how fast are you going? I said, Peggy, I'm doing 140 kilometers. And if you notice, people are passing me. Relax. As your channel grows, do you plan to collaborate with other channels? I have no idea how that collaboration goes. Like JFK fast? Faster than that, in my opinion. My dream sports car, kind of have it. I like knowing I'm the fastest car out there. My main car is a Tesla Model X Plaid, 0 to 60 in 2.6 seconds. I would like a Lucid Sapphire though, Lucid Air Sapphire, but that's $250,000. That's stupid. Are there any 4-day? Oh, there are 4-day 777 trips. There is even a 5-day 777 trip. We used to have a 6-day trip, but in my base currently, we have 3 and 5-day trips. Almost all 3-day trips. The one trip we have that's 5 days long is a deadhead to Phoenix overnight, fly to London, 24-hour overnight, fly back to Phoenix overnight, and deadhead back to Dallas. So, I did find LaGuardia. I've spoken to CRJ9 Captain. He loves the approach, Manhattan skyline, and Freedom Tower. Yeah, I found. I was based in LaGuardia for a little while. Forced to be based there when I was a new hire at my old airline. So I've flown into LaGuardia only on the CRJ and maybe three times on the Airbus. But I was based there temporarily on the CRJ years ago. Asian destinations in the videos feature, Miss Pilot Sensei. I wish we have no. Only we fly to Asia right now is Haneda, Japan. Only out of JFK, and so they'd have to build a trip for me to get there. So probably not likely. I do want to go to Asia though. I love Asia. I went to Narita twice early on 777. That is so normal. Germany to be past it. Yeah, it is crazy in Germany. But again, I love Germany. It was very nice. Also in Germany, what else? We went to again small story time, right? We went to Germany when my kid was 2 or 3 years old, and my wife and I love beer, and we love like pretzels and sausages, and we thought we'd gain weight in Germany from eating and drinking so much. We lost weight because in Germany they have lots of beautiful castles we went to. Carrying a 2 or 3-year-old kid on your back through these castles that they have no elevators, you lose weight. Most dream base of my airline is probably New York. Nice to hear you have been to Germany. What do you think about the Frankfurt airport? So I've only been to the airport in Germany as a passenger. I have not flown in there yet as a pilot, though. As a pilot passenger, I had no complaints. As probably you fly helicopters. Also, it'd be cool to fly big jets. Appreciate you behind the scenes. So the flying rat, I respect you. I don't trust helicopters. You guys have a great theory called auto rotation. No, thank you. Now listen, I know you all practice auto rotation. Um, no, thank you. That's just not for me. I like my wings. I like going high. It's to the point where I told my wife, if we were ever in a car accident in the middle of nowhere and they're like, sir, we need to airlift you to the nearest hospital, I'd be like, can I get an Uber? I don't trust helicopters. We were in Hawaii once and we went to take a tour of the islands. I could ride for free on Blue Island. I think it's Blue Island helicopter tours. I can jump seat for free. I'm cheap. I rented a Cirrus instead. I don't. Again, much respect. I'm curious, how long before the actual departure do you enter the cockpit, start preparing? But we're supposed to be on property 1 hour prior to departure. That's the standard thing in my airline. That's on property, right? Most of us professionals, I typically enter the flight deck 1 hour prior to departure. I don't have to be on property 1 hour prior. I'm typically in the flight deck 1 hour prior, though, and it takes a team to get everything ready. Uh, I was the flying pilot today, so my relief pilot did the outside, the pre-flight duties outside, and I was programming the FMS, doing all the overhead flows, getting the clearance, and all that kind of stuff. If Kirkland bought 220s, would I consider the FDW? Maybe. Depends how the quality of life was. Have you ever flown into? I have flown Sacramento. Yes. Hey, you know what? My family's in Sacramento right now. Sacktown. My family flew to Sacramento this morning. I'm here by myself. Um, yeah, I've flown to Sacramento in the Embraer 145 from LA way back in the day, and on the Airbus as well. Yeah, and when I flew there on the Airbus, and no, I flew there initially on the Embraer when I was doing my IOE. We went to the other terminal that had the big giant red rabbit. Now my airline, as you probably know, is in the old terminal, which is still nice, but then had the big red rabbit. Hello, sir. You're doing a fantastic job on. Thank you. Isn't there a 90% fatality rate in helicopter crashes? I have no idea. Cheers from Zurich. I want to go to Zurich. I live just beside the airport on approach to see the planes from my living room. That's awesome to live there. Fortunately, we have quite a few helicopter accidents in Hawaii. Yeah, I don't like helicopters. I'm about to start flight school soon with the aim of being an airline pilot. Any advice or tips doing the best job possible? Best books to read. Um, you can buy a book now called Everything Explained for the Professional Pilot. It makes things really easy to understand, even if you're just starting out. Consider going to try to make it your goal to go to one aviation conference a year. You just missed one in Memphis like 2 weeks ago. But even if you have 0 hours, never touched an airplane, if you are a parent of a child and they want to be an airline pilot, Google aviation conferences. The big ones, a bunch of letters: OBAP, Women in Aviation, Latin Pilot Association, the National Gay Pilot Association, Pacific Air Pilot Association, PAPA, I believe. Any of them are fine. And don't let the name of the organization sway you from going. When I go to OBAP, which is the Organization of Black Aerospace Professionals, there's a whole lot of white people there. I'm married to a white woman. Don't think I'm racist or anything. I'm a member of the NGPA. I'm a member of the National Gay Pilot Association. I'm not gay, but I support the organization. So these organizations, they don't just, they're not talking about black people or gay people or women. They have speakers about the career field where you learn so much. I can't stress to you how much you will learn if you go to an aviation conference once a year. Even if you've never touched an airplane, it will absolutely help your career. I got my current job from going to aviation conferences and borderline stalking a recruiter. I know it was him and no one else because I say stalking because he never called the cops on me, but I was always, hey, it's me. He told me on a Wednesday. I was ready. I got the invite for the interview 2 days later. It was conferences, taking his advice, listening to speakers, and improving my professional self that got me that interview at my current airline. Please. I have not flown to Dublin, but I do want to go. I flew over Dublin today. It was a nice clear day today in Dublin. Shout out to you. Hey, 15. One of the reasons I fly a twin engine helicopter. Interesting. We get a 772 from United in Zurich with the Pratt & Whitney engines. They are kind of a little smoky. I didn't enjoy flying to St. Thomas. That's one of my favorite overnights to get into. It wasn't hard flying into it, but leaving, the winds in TISTA St. Thomas. The winds from coming in could kind of blow you around a little bit from over the hills, but leaving because we have always take off toward the east because of the headwinds. It's a takeoff and a right turn quickly because to avoid all the terrain. That's all the hardest part about it. It's not too hard though getting in there. Hey, my page. I'm genuinely curious why pilots, content creators in the U.S. just disclose who they fly for, or why we don't. Well, my airline is specific, stating I can never be on camera appearing to speak for the airline. If I ever say, here at Coke Zero Airlines, this is how we do things, I can lose my job. If I ever say, hey, at Coke Airlines, this is our procedures, I can lose my job. If I say, Coke Airlines, we're really crappy, I can't stand in management, I can lose my job. Now, I'm able to allude to it, right? I mean, if you are involved in aviation even a little bit, you can figure out what airline flies a 777 from Amsterdam to Dallas. There's two. Or Amsterdam to London. There's two. Dang it. Amsterdam to where do we fly? I don't know. We fly that way. Somewhere we fly. It's only the only a 777 Dallas to Honolulu. We're the only airline that does it. So people can figure out who I work for. I just can't be explicit with it. Big Jet TV. I've used your um, content before in my videos, and I do credit you, by the way. Thank you very much, Eco Boom. You're very welcome, Jimmy. Have you ever had to deal with a compressor stall? I have had one engine failure um, on the Airbus. I made a video about that on my YouTube channel. Maybe make it on my TikTok channel. I had an engine failure at altitude. So we were descending from level 240. It was very uneventful. It was on the Airbus, never on the 777. My sister wants to be a flight attendant. Any advice? I don't know anything about being a flight attendant. I know it doesn't pay very well currently, but it might pay well soon. In my senior year of high school, and was wondering if getting a degree would be specifically beneficial for the airlines. No, Mr. Luis, here's what I would do. I'm a dad. When you get out of high school, you're 18, 19. My advice to you is live life, meaning get a job, learn a skill, and know what it's like to save money, make money, and be scared out of your mind on your couch trying to pay your bills. Throw some money into a bank, right? Then consider starting your training. No one's going to give an 18-year-old or 19-year-old a $100,000 loan for flight school. There are grants and scholarships out there. You can get all your ratings done for free via grants and scholarships from the before mentioned professional organizations. Thank you very much, Neox. Are you the fat guy that was in Judge American? Oh, bless your heart. I haven't had a troll in like 10 minutes. It's been awesome. Bless your heart. Bless your heart in a southern way, by the way. Sweet. I got to the end. So I do lives once, twice a week on YouTube. I also do them on Instagram and TikTok. I do answer every question in a live. And if you have a question that you don't want to ask, that's in a comment. I got you. You can email me, Darren@darrenbird.com. I answer every single email. It might be a week for me to get back to you. Or if you follow my Instagram, you can direct message me on Instagram. Just don't say hi and nothing else because I won't respond to you. But if you say, hi, Darren, I have a question and list the questions out all in one message, I respond to every single DM. That's my thing I do. When you got on the weight loss drug, how did it work with my first class medical? Great question, Mr. Bennett. It was a nothing burger. I was so nervous about that. I brought all this stack of paperwork to my medical doctor, my FAA doctor, and he's like, oh, you're on semaglutide. Yep, you're good. That's it. The only thing I have to do is if I ever increase my dosage, I've increased my dosage a few times over the last 5 months. I have to wait 72 hours before I fly an airplane. So I just have to make sure I have 72 hours between the time I increase my dosage and fly an airplane. That's the only thing I have to do. What are your thoughts about the Air Canada strike? I haven't been following Air Canada. Awesome, actually. Thank you, David. Sweet. And with that, I'm going to be done. Appreciate your time. I do answer every question. I'm going to relax for a bit and probably play some either Planet Coaster, Hitman 3. I've been playing what's it? Death Loop? I think it's Death Loop game as well. Have a great day and thanks for stopping by. You're very welcome. Woo!